Hi guys, Ray here, City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very well. Wow, what a game! Woo! It's going to take a bit of time to recover. Yes, City have just drawn 1-1 at Anfield. Tough all game, and it was the proverbial tale of two halves. I think the first half, City, I think generally were quite. We were quite in control for most of that first. For most of that first half, majority of the first half, I think City were in control. Obviously, we got a fantastic, well-worked goal from Johnny Stones from the corner, we went into half-time 1-0 up, and then second half. Wow, that goal's within what? The penalty, well, Aki and no, don't blame just Aki, but Aki and Edison managed to give a penalty away between them. Aki passed it back a bit; it was far too short. Edison came out, and well, from the angle I saw, it didn't look like he really did much, but it was enough. It was enough, and they gave a penalty, and McAllister slammed it home. Edison got injured and eventually had to come off. But second half, it was pretty much all Liverpool. It's actually a twist around because first half we had more chances. I think we had 4 shots to Liverpool's 1. Second half, Liverpool had a lot of possession, a lot of control, a lot of play. And let's be honest, I mean, let's be fair about it. We could have easily conceded a lot more than 1 goal today. Having said that, we had our chances to score. I think Phil Foden, for me, I'll have to look at the highlights, but I didn't think he had much of a game. And he had a good chance where he had a shot. Maybe, Haaland was obviously screaming for the ball. I don't know. Doku hit the woodwork. But Doku, he's still a kid. But he's got so much to learn. As I said in the last few games, I've been very disappointed with Doku. He hasn't scored or assisted since the 6-1 against Bournemouth, where he scored a goal and got 4 assists. He's done very, very little ever since then. Massively disappointed with Jeremy Doku of late. And look, he hasn't got enough credit in the bank. He hasn't got enough credit in the bank to keep putting in these performances where he'll flatter to deceive. He'll do some good stuff and then some rank bad stuff. Some of his passing, some of his laziness today was in a game where, let's be honest, Liverpool wanted it more. In my opinion, Liverpool wanted that more than City, and that shouldn't be the case. Okay, yes, they're at home and everything else crowd behind them and blah, 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 but they wanted it. Yeah. Guys, I've got to be honest, Haaland did nothing. He didn't get much service. Haaland is a guy who thrives on service. He's not a guy who's going to dribble and make his own goals. He had a couple of opportunities to do that, but he's not that kind of guy. I think Van Dijk sorted him out once. He's just not that kind of guy. Doku near the end, I think he got past his man and he crossed it to the near post to Foden. Now, I think he should have put it at the far post to where Haaland was. So if you don't feed the guy, he's not going to be able to get any chances to score. So that was disappointing. But yeah, look, Haaland doesn't do much else except score goals. And, this is when it doesn't work, we complain about it when he scores hat-trick. And after hat-trick after hat-trick, we're jumping up and down. So it was, you get what you get with Haaland. Against the big teams, he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it enough. But the thing is, against the big teams, he's got less space. He's got better defenders. We've got sometimes fewer opportunities. Have we been a top 5 side, top 6 side this season? Don't think so. It wasn't good enough. But hey, we're still in it. Alvarez is finished at City. Let me just go and amend my. I was doing a video title. I didn't put the score in. Let's put it in the score. But see, I think City lucky to draw against their title rivals. I think that's right. I think City were very lucky to come out of that second half. They had so many chances, so many opportunities, and they didn't take them. So we've got to be happy. Look, Alvarez weren't great. Alvarez, I said it, he runs around a lot, but for me, no, there was again far too much slack passing, far too much casualness, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. When it doesn't work, it is terrible. So many of these flicks when you join one all, and you need to keep the ball. So many bad passes, so many bad bits of play. It was, I won't say it was horrific. I think the first half was fine. Second half, we were under the cosh. Honestly, that second half, it felt like we were playing with 10 men. It felt like we were playing with 10 men. They got that fillip from getting that goal early in the second half. And that, obviously, it gave them a lot of strength. They drew a lot of confidence from that. And we just shrank into our shells. We retreated. And we, as I said, we were very, very lucky to come out of that. With the draw. Ake made a mistake. I totally agree. Liverpool weren't creating enough. All right, they had a couple of half decent chances, but I think overall City were pretty much in control of that game. But it was there's something that City do, okay, and it frustrates the hell out of me. They hold on to the ball far too long, and they pass it very late when a player's coming, because yes, it frustrates the opposition, it tires them out, and it affects their motivation and morale. Because if you're running around and just before you get to the play, he passes it on, and then you go to the next, and we do that, it's frustrating and tiring. But by leaving decisions late, we put the next guy potentially under pressure, and that's what Ake did with Ederson. He put him under pressure. Ederson ends up conceding a penalty, and getting injured. So who knows what Ederson's situation is going to be? Hopefully it'll be all right for the next game, but who knows? I don't even know what kind of injury it is. I mean, obviously Pep will be asked after in his post-match press conference. Mate, Liverpool in the end, they deserved all three. They deserved all three. If you'd asked us before the game, a lot of City fans take the draw. We want the win, but we take the draw. And yet, we can't cope with the Liverpool's intensity. Not this side. Maybe going back a bit when you got your David Silvas on the pitch and Yaya Toure's and maybe Samir Nasri's and all that. We had a lot more composure, but it just felt like far too often we didn't have composure. And we were casual. That's something that I just take away, casualness. Alvarez is not a winger nor a midfielder. He should only play as a striker or replace Haaland. Well, I'm not sure I agree, because he started most of the league games this year, and he's got a reasonable return in goals and assists. But for this game, he wasn't the man for me in this game. The man for me in this game, if you saw the preview I did with Bernard, we didn't want Doku, really. It was Kovacic. I think Kovacic was the guy we were probably looking at to shore up the midfield a bit. But certainly wasn't expecting Alvarez. I thought if anybody, you get Doku instead of Alvarez, but Doku doesn't hold the ball enough. And I'd rather have Nunez than Doku at the moment. Franklin, you got to give Liverpool credit. I know you guys don't want to, but you got to give them credit because they came out and battered us that second half. Calispira, Alex, how you doing? Haaland, no, he didn't get any service. Ederson, big mistake. He was set up by Ake, but maybe he didn't need to do that. He could have, the ball was quite wide. So why don't you let the guy try and score from a very difficult angle, which he probably wouldn't do? Pep, I don't think Kevin was doing enough. I don't think we was doing enough. We had opportunities. You can't argue about that. 2-0 isn't enough against this Liverpool. Liverpool are too good for us to think if we'd got a second goal, that would have been it. We've seen, all right, albeit, Sheffield United have been 2-0 up away from home, and they ended up drawing 2-2. Burnley were 2-0 up today away from home at West Ham. They drew 2-2. So 2-0 doesn't guarantee us a win. But you got to give Liverpool credit. You can't hide from that Liverpool, especially in that second half, they dominated possession, dominated territory. They had a lot more chances than us. They were a lot more dangerous than us. And we were just relying on hitting them on the counter attack. And we did. We had probably, if you look at that game, the second half again, 3 or 4 good opportunities to do something a bit better. And I thought, I'm wearing my lucky shirt. Come on, City. I'm wearing my lucky shirt. Do it for me, lads. Doku hit the woodwork. Doku had another pass where Foden tried to flick it. If Foden had scored with that flick, we'd be talking about it and talking about it and talking about it for years. But it was a cock-up. And I think Doku should have been looking for Haaland. That was actually one of the times I think he should have been looking for Haaland, because Haaland, I thought, had peeled off. We had more control, which is what I wanted from the start. Kovacic or Nunes rather than Alvarez, to be honest. He was poor, Andy. I'm not going to jump. I'm not going to two-foot him like you guys, but he was poor defensively. Someone with his passing. Alvarez should have played in Haaland's position in this game and put Doku on Grealish. Well, Grealish couldn't play because his guy's injured, so that's that gone. Doku couldn't play because he ain't consistent enough. He can't start the game for us. I don't think that's. I think that's pointless. Doku starting at the moment. Couldn't win any second balls. Should have lost the game. Was too relaxed. No, hello, I said it. Liverpool wanted it more than us, and that to me was evident. It was evident. We were glad for the game to finish. They weren't. They wanted to keep going because they thought they were the only team that were going to score, and we were just glad to get off that pitch with a draw. Andy says Edison is a liability. It's been waiting to happen. He was lucky he weren't sent off. I don't think it was a sending off because the guy had put the ball quite wide. One of these, I've got to watch the replays again. So I don't think it was a sending off, but it was reckless. Reckless. Foden didn't do enough for me. I mean, who did? Put your hand up if you can tell me who did a lot in this game. John Stones. I mean, John Stones scored his goal, but I think the whole team struggled and suffered in that second half. Edison did his job. He couldn't do much of the second. No. They both made mistakes. Edison was never getting to that ball. Yeah. And once he's not getting to the ball, you just make sure you do not give the penalty. Let the guy, because the guy's gone wide. Once you commit yourself, the guy's, he knows you're doing it. He knows it. And so he's already diving. And it's very hard not to get the decision. No, I don't think it was all Ake. Okay. The terrible back pass, that's 100% Ake. Okay. But I don't think Edison needs, I don't think he needs to keep going in on the player. And played, for me anyway, from the angle I saw, it looked like he was half diving with, as Edison was getting there, because he knew he was going to be there. And the penalty it felt kind of inevitable. Yeah, look, the people who can keep that ball generally is Rodri and Grealish. That's the one thing that Grealish brings to this team is ball control, and possession. He keeps that possession. But who else does? I mean, they haven't got the ability. I mean, Foden today was bounced off it a bit. Walker, I've said it before, Walker ain't good enough. Yeah, people talk about Walker being a Premier League all-time great and the best right back ever and blah, 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 blah. He's not doing it for me, okay? He makes too many mistakes. He's too slow of thought and he's too lazy. Because sometimes I think you should have started your run tracking back earlier and you leave it late. Is it because he wants to show off with his pace? But if you don't get there, you don't get there. We were lucky. There were so many. If you go back to how many one-on-ones they had or close offside, there were too many. There were too many for us to think that we deserve more than a point. Second half was a disgrace. I won't call it a disgrace, but it was a really poor show. I'm not sure we should have won that GRX. If we'd taken another chance in the first half, then I'll say, yeah. If we're 2-0 up, then I'll say, yes, we should have won. He couldn't do... No, the save, I'm not saying anything about the save. He did. It was actually a good dive. It was just a very, very good penalty. But I'm just saying, don't dive in on the player. The player's knocked it past you. He's gone wide. Let him score. You give it the penalty away. You get a booking or sent off. It's too much damage to the team. Forget the injury. If he'd got sent off there and they got a penalty, I think we get beat. Okay, so let's stay up. Don't dive in. Don't give the penalty. And from a wide angle, let the player make him score. Make him score. Brandon, oh, absolutely, mate, absolutely. All that from the moment they got that penalty, pretty much, I was just happy. I was just glad if we could squeeze out with a draw. I mean, normally when I'm doing a stream, you know, reasonably early enough, you get everything ready because you can't just go bang straight away and have all your thumbnail and everything done. You got to prepare it in advance, and I left it quite late to do the thumbnail because I really did think Liverpool would score a second goal, or I was hoping we might, but we had the chances. That's the thing. We had the chances to score. You know, Foden had a good chance. Doku hit the post, or the woodwork, whatever. Doku did a couple of other, good. He did some good runs, but he's so inconsistent, and that's the problem. That's the problem for me, the inconsistency. Ivan says we were poor today. Lucky point, absolutely. I think first half, I think we were all right. First half, I think we were all right, and I think we pretty much deserved our lead. But second half, we were hanging on. And as I said earlier, if you didn't watch this part of the stream, I thought we were playing with one few. It's like we had somebody sent off, and they played with a couple of kids, 3 kids, I think. They did all right. Liverpool fans will take a lot of heart from that. The team will take a lot of heart from that going forwards because, obviously we've got the game against Arsenal. Who knows what's going to happen then? We might beat them, we might draw. Liverpool can pull away then. So this was our chance, but I think the main thing, the minimum was we didn't lose, and we didn't lose. So I think that's my takeaway from it. Franklin says they're a B team. City should have been able to compete with the ball. A lot more poor display if they hadn't first team we would have won. Yeah, look, let's be honest. I mean, Salah and Robertson come on in the second half. I don't think Salah did much. Robertson put some good crosses in. But, the desire look at Diaz, look at Luis Diaz, the desire and the heart that he displayed. Yeah, look at the effort he put in compared to some of our guys. And it was chalk and cheese. It was nothing like it. You miss Grealish so much. He's not benched him. Grealish has been injured, man. You're not listening. Grealish has been injured. And the sad truth is, I watched the Champions League semi-final. I watched that against Madrid when we beat them 4-0. And Grealish played a great part in that. He was very, very good. But we haven't seen that Grealish this season. We haven't seen it. And as soon as Doku came in, Doku was doing bits. Right? And unfortunately, what's happened is we haven't seen the same Grealish as last season. Then he got replaced by Doku. And Doku was brilliant. And then Doku's fallen off a cliff. So, we just can't win. But that's why I want a new winger. I want a new quality winger that's going to devastate teams. And look, if Bernardo Silva's going, I think we need someone to replace him, even though he's not a proper winger. But I think we could do. Look at Walker's crossing today. Look at Walker's crossing. It's lousy. And when you're using Walker, he's got his pace, and that's about it. When you're using Walker and his pace to beat people and put rubbish crosses in, well, what's the point? There's no point in beating anybody. Nah, I'll behave, mate. Behave. Walker was mixed. Walker was definitely mixed. I mean, look how much damage Luis Diaz did down the left. Look how much damage Robertson did down the left. That's where Walker's position is. Look how many times Walker was slow off the mark. When they were coming through down the middle, when they had these breaks and they had one-on-one or whatever, who was supposed to be there? Walker. Now, Walker bust his gut to get back most of the time, but he should have not had to do that. He should have been there anyway, and then they wouldn't have got the opportunities. Abu Khalid says Foden chance should have been dealt better and scored. Disappointed with Foden. KDB was not there. Look, I was very disappointed with Foden because I think Foden has been brilliant for so much of this season. He really has, and as we're talking him up, and everybody's talking him up last week and saying England team should be built around him, blah, blah, blah. Foden throws in a performance like that. Very disappointing. Arsenal, the scary team. the thing is, JRX, they're pretty good defensively, and look at how many goals they're scoring this season, the second half of the season. Since the new year, they're obliterating teams, absolutely smashing them to bits. And if they're not smashing them to bits, they're still sneaking a win. Who did anybody get 7 out of 10? I think you're going to struggle to get 7 out of 10 anyway. Johnny Stones for the goal. KDB, I'm not sure. He might sneak a 7 for his assist, but I think it's a push. I think Foden's finishing is not bad, but it was on his right foot. I just think the pressure and the enormity of the game, he felt it. I think he felt it. Also, I think he wanted to be the man, didn't he? He wanted to be the man that did it. This is what I was saying from last December. Pep lost his good assistants who used to bail him out of the last season. So today we would learn a lot about whether Man City can win the league this season. Today they did not pass the test. That second half was so bad. Look, the only positive for me was we didn't lose. We lose that 4 points behind Liverpool, 10 games to go. Yes, it's not insurmountable, but it's tough. It's not in our hands, but I said we've got the toughest running, and we've got to do something. We've got to do something in the last 10 games that we haven't done this season, and that's beat a top 4, top 5 club. We're going to have to, in my opinion, beat Arsenal. I think we're going to have to beat Arsenal. I think we're going to have to beat Villa. We're going to have to beat Spurs. We're going to have to do something we haven't done this season. We didn't beat Spurs at our place. Didn't beat Liverpool at our place or their place. Didn't beat Arsenal at their place. Lost to Villa, So we are going to have to do something so different. We're going to have to turn it around and actually win games against teams in the top 5. That's going to be tough. Yeah, there you go, Brandon. Only beat United in the top 6. United top 6? Yeah, the top 6. Man City lost their head, stopped playing football, went ahead. No, I'm not sure about that. Second half we did. Second half we were woeful. We were hanging on. I think Ortega did all right. There's a few times where passing wasn't as good as you'd like. The goal kicks weren't. I'm just thinking, get rid of it. When you're kicking it out and you're just chipping it into midfield and we're losing it. When you chip it into midfield, you're putting the player under pressure immediately because Liverpool aren't going to give him time and space. They're going to be on him. So when you're chipping it there, they're right on him before the ball arrives. What's this? All ping pong matches City played with any top teams they've drawn. Absolutely. Ortega did it. He did a good job. I can't knock that. Haaland really needs to add more to his game with him on the pitch. Did we look to man down? Well, I said it in the second half. I thought we were playing with 10 men. Liverpool was so much on top, so much space, so much time. Well, far too much time. Dresses, fine margins. This kids thing is overplayed for Klopp. He's all about energy, and kids bring in. Look, Liverpool use energy, and that energy and the pressure and the makes you make mistakes, and we made too many mistakes in that game. So Hib says Grealish is his best winger. He can hold the ball, he tracks back, and he wins fouls, but it doesn't do enough going forwards. That's been my gripe. Okay, that's why I said I want a new winger. I want a new winger who's going to be, look, we're the champions of the world. We should be able to get the best in the world, okay, or almost the best in the world. I want someone who tracks back, works hard to track back. I want someone who can dribble. I want someone who can shoot. I want someone who can pass, someone who can score. I want someone who's got it all. I want that player. I want that player for City. And since we're the best team in the world, we should be going out and whoever that player is, all right. I think the ideal player would be Mo Salah, but you ain't getting Mo Salah. So I don't know who else is gonna fit the bill. It's a mistake at the back that costs the goal. City needs to be more clinical. Yeah, again, if they go to win, kill the nonsense narrative that Klopp's better than Pep. Well, look, we're not going to kill that narrative. If we'd won today, maybe we do. Maybe we do. Big Morgan Doku's a liability. Look, I'm not going to go down that line. But he didn't do enough for me. I think the two that stick in my mind, obviously, had a chance where he hit the woodwork, and the pass to Foden, and I think he should have passed to Haaland. And I just think from the opportunities we had, we should have got a second goal, and that probably would have been it. Time to look for back in the summer with Scoot. Oh, Franklin, I've talked to Bernard about this. So hopefully, we're going to do a video next week. Might even try to do one tomorrow about what we need in the summer. And I think we've agreed, we can't get 5 top players. I think we're going to end up with 3 top players. So watch out. That video should appear Monday or Tuesday. It better do, because I'm away Wednesday. I'm off back to Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. Got 12 days in Ireland. So I'm trying to toss up whether I go somewhere in Belfast for St. Patrick's Day or somewhere in Dublin. I haven't decided yet. Do I drive the half an hour to Belfast? Do I drive the 2 hours to Dublin? I don't know. I'll decide later. But so I want to get that video out before I disappear, because once I'm gone, I ain't gonna have too much time. Well, one of the biggest problems there, where I stay, I always stay at the same place. Where I stay, internet is really poor. The Wi-Fi is really poor, and even stuff on my phone, it says 5G. It's not uploading at 5G. I'll tell you that on the hotspot. So it can take hours and hours and hours to upload videos. So you got to be really careful about doing certainly long videos when you're over there. So I want to get those 2 videos out while I'm at home, while I've got good internet. Alpha says Doku and Alvarez stunk the place out. I would like Matoma or Neto in the summer. Yeah, won't we all? There was more control when Kovacic came on. Absolutely. I think that's why Bernard wanted him to start. I would have wondered if Oscar Bob would have been the better for Doku. No, I can't see that. Pep's going to go with, Doku's got a little bit more experience. So I think I can understand why that. Derek says, can't believe how bad we were. Stayed up all night to watch that rubbish. Derek from Perth. Good day, mate. Sorry, terrible that. Terrible. It's going to be worse next week when I'm in Ireland. When I'm in Ireland, I'm going to put on my Irish accent. That's going to be terrible. I tried that. I was doing a TED Talk a few weeks ago, and I tried to make a joke with an Irish accent, and it stunk the place out. And I thought, no more. It sounded good in the car on the way over. My accent sounded good. The joke sounded good, and it went down like a lead balloon. So I thought, no more jokes. So yeah, apologies for the rubbish Australian accent. I don't think it's cultural appropriation, but we were second half. We weren't good at all, mate. Second half, we weren't good at all. We need to win every game, no question. I don't think we need to win every game, Chris. There's 10 games. I think we need to win 9 and draw 1 at worst. But yeah, if we win, I think if we win all 10 games, we win the league. I think we win the league, but I can't see that happening. This was the wake-up call. Lots of wake-up calls. There are nowhere near last season's levels. I need to invest in a midfield who controls the pace of the game. I've said it. I want new players next season. As I said, watch this video when we do it. There's always we need proper cover for Rodri. We've seen that. Bernardo might be leaving, and I'm telling you my video now. I'm telling you my video. I'll save it for the video. If I tell you everything now, what's the point of watching? It'd be deja vu. At the end of this season, that draw versus Palace at home, that draw versus Tottenham, and draw versus Chelsea, all in the end. Well, the away draw at Chelsea, scandalous. Chelsea was in such poor form. We were horrible. The home draw to Spurs and the home draw to Palace, I said they'll come back to haunt us. Even the home draw to Liverpool, I said we can put that to one side. We should have beat Liverpool that day. But those three games, I said it before, we'd have gone into this game against Liverpool where they needed to win. They would have been desperate to win. We could have started the day 5 points ahead of them. If we were 5 points ahead of Liverpool, they have to win just to stay on our coattails. So they have to take more risks. So, yeah, look, at the end of the game, they wanted to win. We didn't. Hey, Gary, didn't hope you well, buddy. Say was poor. Foden didn't pass. Haaland was missing. Alvarez gave away. Oh, yeah. Look, I can't argue with any of that, mate. None of that. Liverpool didn't let us breathe. True. We couldn't move the ball forward. Yeah, look, we struggled. Liverpool's pressure always gets to us. Not going to lie to this quickly. Getting sick of Edison's madness or taking improved in the second half. He isn't necessary. Well, look, it isn't necessary. Ortega Moreno is a very, very good goalkeeper. How good? I don't know. Because he doesn't play enough. He doesn't get enough games to show whether he can be consistently brilliant. He's brilliant. I have no question about that. A lot of other teams in the Premier League, I reckon, at least at least half the teams in the league would want Ortega Moreno in their side. I really do think that. But he's not playing enough, so we don't know how good he really is. And that's the problem when you got a number one like Edison. At this point, we can't afford, absolutely can't afford to drop points. As I said, I think if we win our remaining 10 games in the league, we win the league. If we win 9 and draw 1, we might win the league. Well, if we beat Arsenal, for instance, then yeah, it's back in our hands. Really miss a player like Silva who would control games like this with ease. Says Franklin. Yeah, look, Silva. We move on. We evolve. We had players like Silva. We had Yaya Toure box to box. We had Sterling when he was good and Sane on the other side. We were dangerous all over the pitch. Look at it. You had Silva. You had Yaya. You had Gundogan. You had Fernandinho. You had Sterling. You had Sane. You had Aguero. You had KDB. Gundogan, all these players. But players come, players go, and we've got to move on. Pep needs to recreate the team because this group is lacking. Absolutely. I've said it before. We give Walker a 3-year contract. I wanted him to stay, but I think that's too much, and I think we need to move on very, very quickly. Who do I want that left wing? The way Pep plays, it doesn't matter if it's a left footer or a right footer because he'll invert them anyway. He'll swap them aside. So, but if anybody's watched the channel for a little while, for the last year or so, will know who I want. Doka can play the wing, and I think anybody else can as well. Dre says City with the stature and what we should have at least one decent fullback in the squad. Yeah, that can cross. I think that's the issue. Look at the danger that Trent and Robertson pose opposition teams and their fullbacks. Walker gets into positions because of his pace, but he can't cross for Toffee. Gvardiol, I've hardly seen Gvardiol cross this season, so that ain't happening either. Oh yeah. I want Kvaratskhelia. That's the fella I want. When you look at the imbalance, it's where Pep has been overachieving. Well, I've said it several times. If we win the league this season, it will be our best league title win under Pep. Better than the Formidables, better than the Centurions, because Formidables was really, really good, but Centurions was too easy. But I think with the team we've got, if we can win the league this season, I think that's Pep's best achievement. It might sound odd, considering we won the treble last season. We were Formidables and Centurions, but I really do think the achievement is, the team isn't as good, but the achievement would be. And he shouldn't have hooked KDB. I think KDB deserved a little bit more time. I think he deserved just give me a little bit more time. Happy with Mitoma or Neto, there would be a massive upgrade on Doku. Then remember Savio. Savio's coming. Savio's coming this summer. So, is he? We don't know. We don't know how good Savio can be. Now, I still want another winger. Why? I want competition for places. I want players moaning that they're not playing and knowing that every time they appear on the pitch, they have to give it all and produce. And I think that's where we're lacking. We need players to know that their position's under pressure every single week. They need to know that. I think Kvaratskhelia is more suited to City. I think he'll have a ball at City. Mitoma would have been a good player on that left wing. Absolutely, we need 3 to 4 players. Well, I'm gonna mention 3 players that we need in that video that I do on the summer transfers. Mitoma tracks back and isn't just give the ball away. Like, look, I think the thing about Mitoma, in a Pep side, I think he can offer more going forwards than Grealish, but I think he's going to work as hard as Grealish, and I think that's so important. Trace is all in all, City should have no pressure to win 4 in a row. They've been brilliant. It's only the press that are adding pressure. Yeah, absolutely. They don't need the pressure, but we're not as good a side. And it's the only, you can say the only person we've lost is Gundogan, but we're not the same side. Derek, actually from Dublin, living in Perth, 24 years now. Oh, well, I'm actually in Dublin. When am I in Dublin? I'm in Dublin on Monday, so the bank holiday Monday, because they have the Friday off. I don't know if, well, I'm assuming the bank holidays, but they have the Friday off and the Monday off. So I'm in Dublin. I'm definitely in Dublin on the Monday. I'm working in Dublin on the Monday. I'm in Sligo on Saturday, and I'm out somewhere out west on Friday evening, doing a show on Friday. But Sunday, I haven't decided. I mean, I might stay local because I'm knackered. I'm just driving too much. I might go to Belfast or Dublin's 2 hours away, so I'm on in an iron. But the thing is, because I'm going to Dublin the next day, and I can't stay over. I can't take my car with all my stuff in and just stay over somewhere. I've got to get back to my dig. So I'm thinking I might just stay local. Anyway, Healthy says just a matter of time before that client. I'm not blaming him. I said it was mostly Aki's fault, but some of it was on Edison. Roddy got yellow. Yeah, Hoops. I think he had 2 to spare. He had 2 to spare. I think. The truth is, if Rodri was going to be missing for the Arsenal game, all the pundits, the commentators would have said so. So he's not. We need Florian Wirtz on that centre midfield next season. I would have played Bernardo Silva on that centre mid this season. What do you think? Bernardo can play anywhere. But for me, I wanted KDB and Foden to be playing central mid, the attacking midfielders. And then Bernardo played on the right last season. Haaland's up top, and then we just need someone on the left. And it's not really, for me, it's not Alvarez. Now, Alvarez kind of works if you're playing him behind, I think, behind Haaland. Keller is ridiculously good, says Dre. They're not missing Alisson. Imagine the goalkeeper, Karius, that was discarded by Liverpool. He's now a top 6. Absolutely, at Newcastle. Rodgers 1 yellow from a match ban. Yeah, he's fine for Arsenal. Rodri unbeaten. Yeah, that's it. I was actually thinking, why did Pep play Rodri in the midweek? Is it just to continue his run? Well, it keeps going. We'll see how he does against Arsenal. We are shocking, man. No fight. Well, I think we got fight, but not enough. This would be greatest title. That's all the press is not launching. Yeah, absolutely. Because they're saying we're not as good as we were last season, but we're still getting the results. We're still getting overall the results. And you got to remember this Arsenal side, everybody's singing their praises, especially after Christmas. And I'm turning around and saying, we're not as good as we were. If this was the Centurion side or the formidable side, the title would already be wrapped up. It would be already wrapped up because no one is getting anywhere near. We would be getting at least 93, 94, 95 points. No one would be catching us. Ortega's performance against Chelsea in the FA Cup last season was the best I've ever seen a goalkeeper perform for Man City. Instead of fight, I think it's all fatigue. I don't see why it should be fatigue. We had an extra day's rest in Liverpool. We played at home while they played away. And we had the opportunity to rest players. And they're playing without Salah. No Salah. They didn't start with Robertson. Where's Trent? Where's Alisson? There's 4 players straight away off the top of my head without even thinking about it. And there'll probably be someone else that was quite important that was missing. So, we can't afford to get carried away, guys. Can't do it. Right. Last couple of points. Alpha says not as good as last season. Also not performing against top 4. Haven't beaten any of them this season. Absolutely. That's been one of the things that enduring qualities of our success is that we've beat top teams, and that we've basically not drawn with them, we beat them. So they, we might have gone and lost against teams, poor teams, but not by beating the top teams, you stop them pulling ahead. Yeah. Whereas now we're drawing with them or losing to them, it makes it really, really tough. Yeah, all the title defenders have dropped off horribly. Right, guys, that's enough now. That's enough. I've got to start work. I'll tell you, I've got a load of ironing to do before I go because I prefer to do my ironing before I go. I've got fantastic iron, one of these big steam irons. So I want to do my ironing before I go to Ireland and, put everything in the car, just hang it up there. And then I've got a load of stuff to tidy up. And fine, I've got stuff missing, so I've got to do that. And I got 2 days before I head off. So I've got Monday and Tuesday to do all. I better do a bit of work tonight. Thanks a lot for joining us. Last couple of points. Fatigue over the years. We're going to finish here. We need a bigger squad. We need to have more. We've got a big enough squad. We have. We've got variety of players. We've got flexibility in players. It's just so happened that, today it didn't look good because Liverpool are a good side. We can't take it away from them. They've got, and it's the energy is one big thing that's in their favour. They miss a lot of chances. Don't forget that. On another day, they might have scored 6 today. They had plenty of chances. So, I'm not going to bemoan the fact that we only got a draw. There were 2 teams playing that game. It weren't just City. Liverpool obviously contributed to that game, and they were very, very dangerous. And the way they played stopped us playing. So you can't forget that. Gotta give them some credit, guys. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out, and we will see you around, Blues. Take care now.